We are currently on a French ring training field. 10 years ago, I was introduced to French ring when my newlywed husband brought home this strangely well mannered, sophisticated looking dog who only understood French. In the community of dog sports, French ring is elite. It's like sending your dog to school at Harvard. It takes years of dedication and practice by the dog and the handlers to become champions on a French ring field. As a wife of a successful club and training director, and one time president of the North American Ring Association, I've learned to appreciate the sportsmanship and the camaraderie that are associated with this sport. French ring is dog training at its best. It keeps competitors motivated to reach their utmost potential of themselves and of their dog as a working team. According to an article published in the Journal of Social History titled Four Legged Pouasse, the French have been training dogs to perform complex exercises since times of war. War dogs were trained to perform search and rescue, detection, and to deliver messages through battlefields without becoming distracted or distressed by their surroundings. As the need for war dogs changed, so did dog training. It continued to evolve into civil work and sports like French ring. To preserve this rich history of French-style dog training, the SCC has set up guidelines to preserve that French ring is universally practiced the same in countries like Canada, Mexico, Spain. And the SCC is equivalent to the AKC here in the States. French ring exercises are divided into three main categories, which are agility, obedience, and protection work. And the number of exercise and the difficulty of each exercise depends on the level of competition. So when all dogs step onto the field, they are without a leash, they are without a collar, and they must be obedient off of one verbal command. Body signals are not allowed from its owners, and the precision in which the dog is judged is very strict. The dog must be in excellent physical shape and have the desire to want to work. The team's first challenge is called the CSAU. The CSAU certifies for Certificate of Sociability and Aptitude to Work. Once they have this, they are able to participate in every level of ring. That is also called the brevet in French. An example of an obedience exercise would be positions, and these are done at a distance of 18 meters and more. All commands are given by the handler in French, and the dog must change positions in any random order that is drawn at the beginning of the exercise. In total, there are 9 obedience exercises, which consist of the long stay, the thrown and retrieve, the seen and retrieve, and the send away. And my personal favorite, the food refusal. And this is where they actually trying to give the dog food, and the dog's just like, no, thank you, I don't want it. It's quite cool. The agility or the jumping portion are for those competing in all levels of ring. All dogs must go over all 3 jumps, which include the hurdle. This is the hurdle behind me. The long jump, and the palisade. The palisade is a solid wood wall, starts at 1.7 meters and can reach 2.3 meters. And the dog must jump over twice. So the dog must jump away from its handler and return to its handler without any command. The vital part, the most fun part of French ring, is the bite work or the protection work. And this is done, it takes years of specialized training by the decoy, the handler, and the dog. The decoy is the person wearing the protective bodysuits that fills the role as the aggressor. There are 7 protection exercises, which include the defensive handler, attack with the revolver, search and escort, and the crowd favorite, the guard of objects. And the guard of objects is done by the handler. The handler is given a basket and asked to place the basket in the center of a circle. The dog is then asked to guard it. With the handler out of sight, the decoy comes in and tries to steal the basket from the dog. The dog will then latch onto the decoy. Once that happens, the decoy steps back, but the dog must remember, my job is to guard this basket, not bite the decoy. So he must let go and remember that he needs to bite the decoy, which takes some self-control there on the dog's part. The history of French-style dog training has been preserved and continues to attract dog owners throughout the world. It takes an extensive amount of time, cost, and dedication from all involved to master these exercises, raising the question, why do people do it? Longtime competitor Tiffany Dam tells me there is something very challenging about this sport, something that involves a living, thinking creature that you just don't get from any other sport. The AKC states that competitors are motivated by their emotional bonds that they have with their dog. Through this discipline of training, it enhances their human to animal connection. The history of French-style dog training has been preserved throughout the world, and it continues to evolve into what it is today. Raising the question again, why do people do it? Longtime competitor John Corsia says, my competitive spirit and my bond with my dog makes all the hard work involved a small price to pay. Thank you.